Eating disorders affect 1 in every 50 people in the UK. Anorexia nervosa has the highest death rate of any mental illness.
The past 12 months have been incredibly difficult for everyone, but just how bad has it been for those who suffer from eating disorders?
Absolutely diabolical, terrible. It just rocketed beyond what any of us would have expected.
If it's tough to live with an eating disorder in the normal world, it's even tougher in a pandemic. Disrupted care, even longer waiting lists, food insecurity, gyms closing, anxiety and fear. Eating disorder charity Beat reported a 173% increase in demand for support between February 2020 and January 2021. Big Brother star Nikki Graham passed away in April after suffering from anorexia. She was not able to get the help she needed because of bed shortages in hospitals. If a celebrity can't get treatment, what chance do the public have? MPs are calling for the government to step in and help.
There is clearly issues with some of the services and how they're set up at the moment. There's an issue of training for staff who aren't mental health staff as well, and all these things cost money. I think we're at a crisis point, and I think we need to acknowledge that, and we need government to acknowledge that.
And yet, some sufferers have benefited from the world coming to a temporary halt.
For some people, the pandemic's been great because if you've got anxiety and you're an introvert, it's allowed you to hide.
Katie is 22. She has suffered from anorexia since she was 14.
So, has the pandemic had an impact on your recovery?
Yes, a massive one. Kind of one that I wasn't expecting as well. I'm moving in with my partner and his family, and I was not used to the way that obviously they live. I was not in my kind of home environment, and I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. So for quite a while, I just really struggled with the kind of relationship I was having with food and exercise, and I'd gotten into a habit of kind of a good relationship with exercise. I would go to the gym before uni. I had kind of like set meals I would have that would make me feel comfortable at uni. And then I was in this new environment where there was no gym, there was no access to the kind of foods that I was used to. But I think a year on, I've kind of gotten used to it. I've conquered a lot of fears when it comes to food, which is quite nice. I've had fish, which was good.
Charities such as Beat offer telephone support for anyone struggling during the uncertainty of the pandemic. Anorexia and Bulimia Care has teamed up with another charity, Hips Place, to offer free Zoom support sessions.
So the pressure has been huge across the NHS, across eating disorder services, as well as lots of others. And that's why, as I've mentioned before, it's very important, I think, that services such as ours exist for those people, so that they've got a listening ear, they've got somebody to come to for guidance and support.
Jen is 26 and developed an eating disorder at 16. She's been able to access remote treatment during lockdown, but is anxious to get back to face-to-face appointments.
What was your experience with all the remote help that you've been getting over the pandemic?
It has definitely been positive. I do think it's quite hard to engage in the same way as you would if it was in person. And I think especially with like the meal support aspect of it, usually that would be done in person. The nature of anorexia, it is a manipulative illness. And it is sneaky. I think it was really hard at times to not take advantage of the fact that it was over camera and, I could engage in certain behaviours that I wouldn't have been able to had it been in person and get away with it and not really have to address them. In terms of like success, it was limited.
After the pandemic, will eating disorder services get the right funding to meet their growing demand?